Last time it was fine. Okay. All right. Here we are, episode 4.
5 votes down.
We're so excited about 5 votes down. Welcome to Wingin It, the West Wing podcast. I am your host. I'm just kidding. I've never said that. I've never said who I am. They don't even know. But I'm here with my friend Sallie.
They're listening to a total stranger.
But we sound reliable.
Which would be the case anyway. I think so. I think so. Personally, I don't think that I'm biased in this, but I think we probably sound pretty reliable.
Yeah, I'm not biased either, and I totally agree. But
yeah.
But that's just my opinion. Welcome to the West Wing podcast. We're 5 votes down. We're on episode 4. And
4 votes in, 5 votes down.
There's so many numbers.
There are.
And Sallie, how'd you feel about this episode?
I felt okay about it. It wasn't one of my favorites because there are others that are so much better, but I didn't dislike it.
Even though Mandy was in it?
Even though Mandy was in it. Yuck, Mandy. Yeah, even though Mandy was in it, it was just, it was fine.
Yeah, there were some good scenes. It's not a rewatcher. I feel like there are some episodes that I like. If there were tape in Netflix, I would have worn out the Netflix tape. This is not one of those. However,
no, it's not.
I think it does contain one of my favorite scenes in the whole series. So, I'm going to start going back and wearing out that Netflix tape. So, something to look forward to. So what happens here in 5 votes down? Shall we start with the TikTok?
Yep, let's start with the TikTok.
Tick-tock on the clock, on the party don't stop. Kesha. Okay, so it opens on Bartlett. He's giving a speech, and he's telling some sort of joke. And
yes.
all
which I would like to know the first line to that joke. But I can't remember what the actual punchline was, but it was something that it opens on that punchline, and I'm like, wait a minute, I want to know what led you to that punchline.
Do you feel like a part of me wishes that he made up a different punchline every time, like every take. But I feel like punchlines are hard to come up with. But I guess maybe not as much if you don't know the first part.
Yeah, because it could literally be anything. Because it
How about
could be
that
anything.
schnitzel?
Because it still leaves you wondering what the joke was.
It's like on Gilmore Girls where they say, "How about that schnitzel?" I think they talk about punchlines in Gilmore Girls as well. Which should we
yes.
Should we give a shout out now to our...
I think we should. I think we probably should, yeah.
Let's give a shout out to the Gilmore Guys podcast. We enjoy them very much.
Yes, a lot. They, when you first said, hey, let's do a podcast, I was like, okay, I don't know. And then you were like, listen to Gilmore Guys. And then I listened to Gilmore Guys and saw how fun it was and how much fun they were having. And that pretty much brought me on board. I'm not going to lie. Because I don't know what I was expecting in my head. I had just listened to Serial was my first big podcast. So I was thinking like, okay, Serial, but West Wing. And now I'm semi-podcast obsessed. So
yeah, and in this podcast, unlike Serial, you're going to get resolution.
Yes. We can offer that.
This actually has an ending.
Yes.
And there are no Best Buy references in this entire series. So, no need to get creeped out. Okay, anyway, back to the TikTok. So
you can listen to this at any time in the day when you're alone at night by yourself.
Yeah.
It'll freak you out.
It kind of freaks me out, but that's okay. You do what you do gotta do.
Yeah.
I was also listening to Happy, Sad, Confused last night. So
yes.
That was a podcast that you recommended to me. It's like we share podcasts.
That's a good one as well. So shout out to all our fave podcasters.
We love you guys. You make the airwaves a happy place. Or sad or confusing, but mostly happy.
Mostly happy, a dash of confusing.
Okay, so Bartlett's giving a speech, yada yada. All I know is that Josh was wearing a tux, and I didn't really pay attention to anything else because it was just so wonderful. Shout out to Bradley Whitford. I also made a note that when Bartlett exits the stage, it sounds like there's a school band playing the Star Spangled Banner. And I was just wondering, do we even use that kind of music for presidential things anymore? Like, I don't even think for the inauguration we use like big pomp and circumstance sort of things. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about, and I think you're probably right. I was watching a Q&A actually last week, sometime recently. The president, our actual real life president, Barack Obama, was giving.
IRL.
I feel like whenever I say the president in here, it's about Bartlett, but Barack Obama himself was doing a town hall in my hometown. So I listened to that, and they actually played Springsteen during his exit. So
Was it
not
Born in the USA?
I can't remember what it was now,
That
but
would be
it was
controversial,
not.
wouldn't
It was not Born in the USA, but it was something. I can't remember now, but I remember being like, "Oh, Springsteen, that's cool." So yeah, it was not Pomp and Circumstance. There was not the local high school band playing him out.
I know. It's so weird.
Yeah,
That's cool, though. I wish that would be fun to witness, I would say.
yeah.
I know that Obama, real president, came to Nashville a couple months ago, and he went to La Hacienda, and a few people were excited, and most of the rest of Nashville was just complaining about traffic, because if there's
Yeah.
anything that people love to do, it's complain about traffic.
That's so lame though, because okay, yeah, the traffic would be bad, but a few of my friends like saw the motorcade go by, and I just think no matter what side of the aisle you're on, that would be pretty neat, you know? I mean, that's your president, so. But to each his own.
I think that would be cool for sure.
Yeah.
So moving on from there, there's a long Steadicam shot of them walking out through the kitchens and the back door and all that kind of thing. The whole West Wing crew, the ensemble there. I made a note that this might be the first time we ever see Toby genuinely laugh or smile. This is 4 episodes in. So he's just a little bit of a rain cloud. He's just a little cumulus nimbus, and I like him still.
And even in these few moments where we see him laugh and smile, he is still arguing with the president. He's still a back and forth with the president.
He's still being a stick in the mud, but he wrote 37 pages of that doggone speech, so he was pretty invested.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Also, we see some of Josh's fan club, which we will see more of in a couple episodes, I think. And I love they're like, "We love you, Josh," and CJ says it helps not to know him. Ha, CJ.
I am a little bit confused about Josh's fan club because I'm just wondering.
Not in it?
That for sure. But I'm just wondering what real demographic that would be. Like the people who are intelligent enough to like know politics that well and be aware of who the deputy chief of staff is. Would they really be outside, screaming like they're at a concert? I don't know. I mean, maybe so, because maybe I would be. But who knows?
I know. I mean, are they like grad students that just are throwing inhibition to the wind? Like grad students who don't actually want to work at the White House or just don't think they have a shot? I don't know.
Yeah, that must be it. I'm not sure, but it's pretty interesting.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. And then it goes into the title, the opening theme. It's still the MIDI intro, so it sounds like it's being played on a Casio keyboard in 1988. And then it opens up on the gang all eating Chinese food in the Roosevelt Room, which we established last time. Yes. And they're trying to figure out which 5 votes they lost. And
correct.
Leo says the only 2 things you don't want to let people see how you make them: laws and sausages.
Ugh. I don't like that, because then as soon as he says it, I'm thinking about how sausages are made, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a true statement. Actually, there are probably more things than 2 things you don't want to let people see how you make. So, maybe Leo, maybe.
Yeah, there might be more. That's not an exhaustive list.
Right.
I made a note as well that it seemed like Sam is more dialed into the politics of all the votes that they lost, more so than in later seasons, and that's more of a Josh territory. Is that just me, or I mean, do you think that the character changed in terms of how they wrote him?
I think you're right. I don't know if it was an intentional write out or not, but I do think him as concerned as he is about this is a little more than what he's usually worried about. I mean, he's usually worried about politics and about what's happening, but it's more so in the sense of he needs to know what's going on because he is the speechwriter than it is like influencing or like making a difference in the actual policy or politics.
Yeah.
So I do think it is a little more out of what he is usually worried about. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to pay attention more to that sort of character arc as we go along. These are things I didn't notice the first time around. And then it moves on to Leo going home at 2 a.m. and he forgot his anniversary, Sally.
Yeah, I was like, I thought that storyline was a little cliche to me. The whole like, it's our anniversary. Oh, is it? Like, that's just I feel like we see that storyline time and time again. It feels a little beneath the West Wing. Like, there could have been other things, but you know, I get that where they were trying to take the storyline. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too picky.
No, but it is the first time. I mean, it's only the 4th episode. We have so much to go. But I think it is the first time that it shows how much their jobs take a toll on their personal lives.
Yeah.
You know, because at this point, we don't know, like, how much this show is going to go into their personal lives or not. Because I think with other shows, there's so much more about their personal life, or there are more scenes at their houses or more scenes with their significant others than this show at all. You know,
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this is one. Yeah, this is one of the few times we even see anybody's house. Obviously, we see the residence. We see the president's residence a good bit, not even a good bit, occasionally. But this is one of the very few times we see any of the staff's house. We see Josh's house. A few, or apartment or whatever it is, a few times. We see Tobys very, very later on in the series, but it's
and
not.
There's no way he could have afforded that place. P.S. I don't think. At first, maybe he was able to keep the money that he apparently has because of this episode. Yeah, because Toby is accused for possible insider trading. Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
I made a note that I also love when Toby gets frustrated and starts yelling. Is that weird?
No, that's not weird. Wait, you said you like it when he starts yelling?
I do. It's just like, oh, Toby.
I like it. But sometimes I don't like it. Like, he talks back a lot to the president, and I sort of think, when the president tells you to stop, you stop. But
Yeah, I just kind of want to make
I'm so about this whole episode, and I'm really not, like, as a whole, but as we're talking about it, I feel like I'm just like about everything we talk about, and that's not the case. Well, it's definitely not the case for the scene later that
exactly
we'll get to, but
I just kind of want to make a super cut of Toby just frustrated and yelling things, just like one-liner things. I think it would be approximately 7 hours long.
Well, in all fairness, he does have one of my favorite lines of his in the whole series, really, where he says, there is literally no one in the world that I do not hate right now. That is one of my favorite lines.
That's how I feel when I'm
that one.
That's how I feel every morning when I have to be up before 7.
I was about to say that I wish that I could have like a sign that says that I could put outside like my cubicle whenever it's just not a good day.
Yeah. Well, did you have to use that today? Did you have a bad day today, Sally?
I didn't have a bad day. I feel like I have so many negative emotions coming out in this episode, and I don't even know where that's coming from. Let me read.
I know where it's coming from.
Where's it? Where?
It's from Mandy, because she's still in this episode.
Yeah. Mandy does have an annoying moment. She is starting to get toned down more, but she has her annoying moments. Speaking of the insider trading, there are the other things about their money comes out. There's a different word they use for it, but the gifts
financial
they've been
disclosures.
Given. Yes, there you go. That's the correct terminology. The financial disclosure comes out, and some woman gave Josh, I was about to say someone gave Bradley a jacket, but that's his real name. Someone gave Josh a jacket, and Mandy goes on about this Sarah whatever slut gave him the jacket and like, don't talk to me. And I'm just like, really? Like,
such a girl thing.
It is such a girl thing, and I don't know.
Also, a girl thing is to give your ex-boyfriend a picture of yourself that you drew devil horns on him. That's just
apparently
weird.
So. I'm not sure if Aaron Sorkin consulted any actual women about these storylines.
But you know what, though, Sally? I feel like there are plenty of crazy women out there, and I bet that that's a true depiction of some of them. We're just not them.
Yep.
We're just not like them.
But I don't know that those women work in the White House, though. To be fully fair.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
So then there's a good old walk and talk with Sam and Josh where they're basically just walking around to no end, and then they finally get to some sort of hallway, the end of the corridor, and Sam says, "Where are you going?" "Josh, where are you going?" "I was following you." It was very nice. It's kind of like a Who's on First sort of Abbott and Costello thing. Just delightful.
Yeah, I mean, and I talked about that a little bit in the very first episode, so I like that they sort of touched on it, but that, like, sometimes it feels like they're literally walking in circles. So I liked that they had a scene where they were literally walking in circles. That seems like it would happen sometimes when they just get all excited about what they're talking about.
And then my question is, the modern day equivalent is they have those, like, standing desks now, which unfortunately I had to do an enormous amount of research about for a job once. And there are some that have treadmills attached. You can literally get a treadmill desk. I don't know how people think this is more productive. If you have a treadmill desk and you're listening, tweet at us, let us know the deal, because honestly, I just feel like that's insane. It's a little much. But all to say,
that seems pretty insane to me. They had it on they had one of those on Parks and Rec, actually, sometime
with Sam.
I think in the 7th season.
Oh.
For what?
Oh, that's right. I thought maybe that Rob Lowe had a standing desk, but he would.
No, that would have been true to his character, but no. It was later in the season. They're sort of making fun of it in a "isn't this ridiculous" kind of way, which I think that it would be. I think it'd be a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I would prefer the West Wing way of just walking around hallways.
And I like to think that our favorite staff members would also think it was ridiculous. So even if they installed them in the White House, I don't think that would come to... I don't think that Josh would be like, no.
But then again, they also don't have time to go work out. There is, in another season, you do see CJ trying to go work out. Plus, you see her in the very first episode working out at like 5 a.m. But you don't, I just don't think that they have time to go. So maybe, if we could find some actual West Wing people who maybe have retired and have the time to waste to listen to this podcast, I'd really like an answer to that question.
Yeah, I would too.
From there, Josh has his little kind of cowboy moment. He's trying to intimidate the guy who changed his mind on the vote, right? So he got permission from Leo to kind of shake up this guy, and I just loved it. It was so good. Yeah. He's all like, "Black Bart, the president doesn't hold a grudge. That's what he pays me for, sunglasses."
I love that scene. I love it for that reason too, for just Josh being Josh in that scene. But I love it also because I love when they film outside in DC. I think that is really fun when they take the time to do that. Because I just love when they're having those conversations and the Capitol's right there, or the, whatever they happen to be in front of. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. And I was reading about their filming, actually, and I thought this is pretty neat. This is just fun Sallie trivia, which I love.
Sallie trivia.
The set that they built for the West Wing was so realistic, apparently, that the Secret Service, the actual real Secret Service, asked or wanted the studio to not give tours. They didn't want anybody to be let inside of the West Wing set because it was so realistic.
I would not abide by that.
No.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. That would have been a cool set to visit, though.
I know. I would have paid good money to do that.
I would have to.
If I possessed good money, I would have given it to them to walk around like an idiot.
If I had any good money, If anybody could give me some good money, that is what I would spend it on.
That would be neat. I went to the set of Friends once, so I have been to Central
Ooh.
Perk. It's like saying
Oh,
I've
man.
been to the promised land because I sat on that orange felt couch, and I would like to do that at the West Wing and just kind of see if I could get around. I'm sure I'm
Yeah.
not alone in that. I'm sure our podcasters would like to
No.
do that too.
Definitely. Definitely.
Maybe the White House could do that. Well, they do give tours, but I hear that
But
you
not
don't
of
get
like
very
the good
close.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you can actually go. It's not like Disney World where,
Right.
you know, things are going on right in front of you. That would be
Yeah.
neat, though. Maybe that's a way to
Yeah.
help the budget. I'm really good at economics. Okay, so what happens there? So, Sam's gonna help Toby about the money that he's got, that he's putting him in some hot water.
Yeah, that whole
And
storyline just wasn't really my favorite either. Here I go with the negativity again. But for how smart we're supposed to believe Toby is, that just didn't ring true to me. That he would be so not educated about what it would mean and how that would be insider trading. That just didn't ring true to me. So I was kind of on that storyline too, because Toby is just. There are some characters, like there are times when Sam or CJ or even Josh have their like really super naive moments, or there are areas that they don't really know about, but Toby really
mhm.
doesn't have those moments. So this was strange for me.
Yeah, and it comes back to bite him because, man, he just lost all that money like he spun a bankrupt on Wheel of Fortune. Boop! Doesn't get to keep it. Doesn't get to keep it.
Nope.
That would be a sad day.
Would be a sad day.
Okay, so then Josh goes to talk to the freshman congressman, who's basically just whining about not getting enough attention or enough
Oh yeah.
courtship with the President Bartlett. So Josh says, wait a minute, you're voting down a measure that would restrict the sale of deadly weapons because no one invited you to the cool kids table? I'm so
Yeah.
sick. I'm so sick of Congress I could vomit. So good.
I really again love Josh in this scene because he's just so over it, and this dude is so annoying. So it's fun to watch Josh be like, "All right, this is ridiculous," because we're thinking the same thing as a viewer. This little freshman congressman is just ugh, the worst. He's not the
Ugh.
worst because Mandy's still on the show, but he's not great.
No, definitely not great. But it
No.
makes Josh look good. So
Yeah, it does.
that much is pleasing. Then Leo has to go tell his wife that his job is more important than his marriage. Whoa, bomb dropped.
Yes. It
Yes.
is a bomb drop. Let's talk about that. Do you think that is the case? Do you think that being chief of staff is more important than your marriage?
Yeah.
I do. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yes, I do.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know how any of those marriages exist.
Yeah.
Because you
No.
have to kind of go into it hoping that it's going to be 8 years. Eight
Right.
years of not really having a real relationship
Of
because you
never
don't,
seeing your husband.
yeah, not even just not seeing them, but it's not being a priority to them
Right.
and not
Yeah.
really even having the emotional or mental energy to have any sort of conflict. It's not
Right.
like Michelle and Barack can be like, you didn't unload the dishwasher. Well, of course, they have people that do that. But you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
she
I
she can't
absolutely do.
she can't go, I don't feel like you're paying attention to my needs. He'll be like, sorry, I'm a little tied up at the moment. And it felt weird to me in this episode that she would say this. Granted, he just missed their anniversary,
Yeah.
whatever. But it's only the first year of their term of
Yeah.
Bartlett's presidency.
So you sort of wonder how long it's been building, but it's just like I don't know. It just was very. I mean, I think it's definitely probably something that happens, but it was like it was odd timing. I agree with you. Like it's only the first year of the thing. Like you're out pretty quick there, unless it has been building over a long time.
Yeah. I mean, Jenny, she just couldn't hang. She couldn't hang in there.
She couldn't
It's
hang.
it's sad for Leo. It's he comes home and there's a taxi at his door. I mean, golly.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
that's no bueno.
Yep, that's pretty tough.
So then Leo goes straight back to work because what else is there to do? And
Right.
he talks to the vice president, John Hoynes, and
Mm-hmm.
he tells him, well, he does mention that I don't remember what he tells him about his personal thing, but he does tell him that his marriage is breaking up and he needs some water. Why
Right.
is it that water is like the default thing that people get you? Like if you're crying or people don't know what to do, they're like, "Do you need some water?" Is it because
Yeah.
our
I
bodies are
don't
made up
know.
of it? It's just our default thing.
It's not like it's like a super comforting thing, you know? Like, can I get you some tea or
Or like a
I don't
milkshake.
know. It is strange, but I think it is true to life. It's interesting.
Well, this might be the only nice thing that we see John Hoynes do. 'Cause he has his staff get water for Leo, which is not even worth mentioning, but I did anyway. He did invite Leo to his AA meeting, so that's probably more of why they did it, is to set up the fact that, Hoynes knows that he couldn't have offered him, a drink
Right.
because Leo's an alcoholic, which we'll
Yes.
find out more about very soon.
Yes.
And
Well, we
speaking
find
of
out a smidge
drugs,
about it when he goes to the AA meeting, which is a little. It's odd to think of how true to life it might be. How many people in power are going to AA meetings? Which I'd rather them go to the AA meetings than be alcoholics. But it's just
yes,
interesting to think about how we have these people running the country that we know very little about their inner demons.
mm-hmm, it's
So
true. Yeah, Rob Lowe talks about going to AA or going to rehab in his audiobook, Stories I Only Tell My Friends. And I'll probably only reference that every time we have a podcast episode, but it's so freaking
totally
good.
fine. It's
And
got
maybe if
inside
I keep
information.
promoting it, maybe he'll eventually come on here. You think? You think we can
I
get
think
maybe?
I think definitely. I was just like brainstorming in my head as you were saying that, but I think for sure. I mean, I think
How
obviously, first of all, he's just going to fall in love with us from the first episode. So like clearly, I don't even think it'll take that much convincing. I think he'll pretty much just want to be a part of it.
I'm so glad.
As will everyone on the show. Let's be honest.
What I'm gonna do is once we're finished taping, which I know there's no tape involved, but I don't know how to say this. Once we're finished recording the entire series, and once I've mentioned his audiobook in every single episode, then I can tell him, "Hey, Rob, I have single-handedly mentioned your audiobook 800 times."
Do we know
I
how
don't.
many episodes we have?
I have no idea. But don't just live in the now, Sally. Just live in the now.
Okay.
Speaking of living in the now, I wrote down that we don't see a lot of Bartlett in this episode, and just as I did that, lo and behold, who walks in, hopped up on pain pills?
For the best scene of the episode.
One of the best scenes in this season, I would say.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
hilarious.
It is hilarious. Every single line is hilarious.
He is as loopy and as loose as a goose, and it's just I just wanted to write down every single line of this.
I literally did too. I mean, he comes in. One of the first things he said is you guys are like family. Like he's all lovey dovey. He wants to talk. He wants to sit down and work stuff out. But my personal favorite was they're talking about Toby's situation, and Mandy says, "Well, you know, for the worst case, you can resign." And the president says, "Hot damn, now you're talking." And Toby's like, "I think she meant me, Mr. President." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And when he hugs Toby awkwardly, that is just the best.
Oh man, it's so great.
It is
And
really
then
great.
at the end of it, you think he's having like a moment of clarity. You think he's, being lucid. And just at that point, he says, "I'm seriously thinking about getting a dog." It's just.
Which I would just love to see. I just need an entire episode of Bartlett getting a dog and, episode, season, whatever. Just literally
What?
the
What?
West Wing.
The pups of West Wing. I feel like that's
Yes.
an Instagram account somehow.
Yeah.
Where people
I mean, I
dress up
think so.
puppies that look like different characters of the West
Presidents?
Wing. I don't know. President Pugs.
We should get
Presidential
on that.
Pugs.
Copyrighted right now.
Trademark. TM.
So Aaron Sorkin, if you're listening, when we bring the West Wing back, I'm gonna need a whole episode of Bartlett Gets a Dog. Bartlett and the Beagle.
And then Bradley Whitford gets a girlfriend named Andrea. I mean, if we're requesting things, I'm just gonna throw that in.
Okay, true. Dream big.
Cool.
Why not?
So, MVP?
In what?
MVP?
MVP. It was kind of a hard one for me because there weren't a lot of strong. Well, Josh has a lot of strong moments.
Yeah.
So maybe Josh. Who's your take before I name a final?
Oh, definitely drugged Bartlett. Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Drugged Bartlett, I think for sure. Josh has plenty of chances to win.
He just wins by existing. We don't always get a drugged Bartlett, so opportunity.
Drugged Bartlett is the winner. Yeah, definitely. Yay. He really brings home the episode for me.
Well, that's I feel like that about covers it for this one. Episode 4. 5 votes down.
It was a little lackluster for me. So
that's all right.
I apologize for my lackluster commentary, I guess.
I think you had enough luster, Sally. You had just enough.
I'm so glad. And I wouldn't want to let you down, so.
You would never. And I'm sure that there's plenty more to come in next week's episode.
Yes.
These crackpots and these women? Is that the name of it?
That is the name of it. Yep,
I'm sure there's definitely more.
Plenty of luster coming there, so don't you worry.
Hang on to your hats, guys. More Winging It West Wing podcast coming up soon. We'll catch you on the flip side.
See ya.